The ruins demanded silence. We brought guns. They brought a swarm that dissolves trespassers. Then our linguist shouted the one thing they understood. Why? Captain Elias Vance stared through the Odyssey's viewport at Acheron, a shattered moon orbiting a gas giant in Zeta Reticuli. Its obsidian surface wasn't rock, but the corpse of a colossal, alien city. Spires clawed at the void, chasms bridged by impossibly thin arches, all etched with faintly glowing glyphs that pulsed like a dying heartbeat. The silence was a physical weight, heavy with unspoken warnings. 6 months of probing had yielded sensor ghosts, garbled transmissions, and one terrifying truth. Autonomous swarms guarded these ruins, dissolving the first survey drone in seconds. Dr. Aris Thorne, the mission linguist, saw not just danger, but a Rosetta Stone. Her data slate overflowed with swirling glyphs. Her mind consumed by the rhythmic whispers, the passive arrays detected a language. Against Vance's better judgment, pressured by Omnicorp's insatiable greed for Nanotech, a landing was ordered. The descent shuttle, the Wisp, touched down near a cyclopean archway. The air tasted metallic, the silence watchful. Then, from the arch, a river of silver erupted, a seething mass of geometric units, hexagons, dodecahedrons, moving with terrifying synchronicity. The swarm attacked. Sonic dampeners failed. Static fields collapsed. Security Officer Petrov was consumed in seconds, reduced to atoms. Thorne, frozen not by fear but horrific fascination, saw the syntax in the swarm's movement, heard the layered modulation in its hum. Above the arch glowed the glyphs, the warnings she'd studied. The central symbol, a complex spiral with angular slashes, pulsed with the swarm's rhythm. A desperate hypothesis ignited. What if it wasn't just a warning, but instruction? Overriding suit protocols, she screamed, deduced phonemes into her external speaker. Asterisk, asterisk, Kael'tar. Asterisk, asterisk, boundary, jurisdiction. The swarm attacking Chen froze, hesitated. Thorne added, asterisk, asterisk, Kael'tar Vesh. Asterisk, asterisk, attend. The swarm flowed backwards, coalescing into a watchful cloud. It hadn't stopped attacking. It now attended to her. A silvery beam lanced from its core, tracing the archway glyphs before pointing deeper into the darkness. The swarm formed shimmering walls flanking the arch. An escort. Acknowledgement. Vance, reeling from Petrov's loss and the impossible shift, ordered weapons safetied. Dr. Thorne, after you. They stepped between the silver sentinels into the ancient dark. Trespassers transformed into guests. Curiosity, humanity's fatal flaw, had become its key. The air inside the archway thickened, charged with static and the low resonant hum of the swarm escort. Their suit lamps cut feeble cones through a profound darkness that seemed to swallow light. The floor, seamless obsidian, sloped gently downward. The escorting swarm flowed silently beside and behind them, a shifting, shimmering curtain, their collective hum a constant, unnerving presence. Sing, passive scan sweep, widest spectrum, Vance ordered, his voice tight. In the helmet comes Rourke, Chen, rearguard. Watch that swarm. Scanning, Captain, Singh murmured, her fingers dancing on her wrist-mounted console. Structure is immense, hollowed-out mountain range. Readings are chaotic. Localized energy signatures, residual. I think, like battery leakage over millennia. And organic signatures, faint, complex. Plant analogs, maybe. Thorne walked slightly ahead, her slate synced to her helmet HUD, projecting glyph overlays onto the walls as her lamp revealed them. It's not just decoration, Captain. She breathed. It's narrative, instructional. This sequence, she pointed to a band of interlocking spirals and sharp triangles, depicts construction or growth. The symbols aren't static. They imply process, transformation. She tentatively vocalized a soft sequence of tones towards the wall. The glyphs, and that section pulsed slightly brighter in response. The escort swarm's hum shifted pitch, a questioning warble. "Doc, maybe don't poke the ancient, deadly architecture." Rourke grumbled, his gaze fixed warily on the silver tide beside him. "One wrong note, and we end up like Petrov, not poking." "Marcus," Thorne countered, exhilaration cutting through her. Fear, conversing, testing the syntax. Vesh worked because it was a clear imperative tied to their core programming, boundary enforcement. But this is different. Nuance. She traced a complex, flower-like glyph. This feels descriptive, maybe light, or growth. They emerged into a vast chamber. Vance sucked in a breath. It wasn't a cavern, it was a forest. Towers of crystalline lattice, glowing with soft internal bioluminescence in blues, greens, and violets, rose hundreds of feet towards an unseen ceiling. Delicate, fern-like structures of glassy filaments unfurled from their bases, shimmering with captured light. The air hummed with a different frequency here, warmer, more organic. The escort swarm flowed along designated paths etched into the floor, avoiding the crystalline growths. "Sing?" Vance asked, awestruck. "Confirmed, Captain. Complex, crystalline organic hybrids, photosynthetic analogs, harvesting ambient radiation and converting it. The energy signature is stable and ancient, ecosystem in stasis." Sing scanned frantically. No movement beyond micro-vibrations, dormant. Thorne approached a cluster of smaller, bud-like crystals. Etched onto the base were glyphs similar to those outside, but softer, more flowing. She hummed a sequence derived from the growth symbol. The buds pulsed gently, emitting a soft chime. The escort swarm nearby rippled, a wave of silvery light passing through it. A complex glyph flashed momentarily within the swarm mass, a mirror of the one Thorne had vocalized. "They're learning," Thorne realized, her heart pounding, or remembering. "They react to my attempts, mirror the concepts. It's not just command and obey, it's dialogue. Primitive, but dialogue." She broadcast a simple tonal sequence she associated with query, purpose. The swarm's response was immediate, but chaotic. Units flickered erratically, the hum spiking into dissonance. A few fragments broke away, swirling aggressively for a moment before being reabsorbed. The mirrored glyph dissolved into static. Too complex. Thorne gasped, stepping back. Syntax error, overload. Stick to simple imperatives and basic For now. Chen, near the chamber entrance, flinched violently as the swarm fragment surged. Her breathing was ragged over the comes. It almost came for me again. Like before. Just like Petrov. Her voice cracked. "Steady, Chen," Vance said, his tone firm but weary. He moved towards her, placing a gloved hand on her shoulder plate. "Thorne has the leash. For now, but Rourke's right. We tread carefully. Sing any way up besides back." Sing pointed her lamp upwards. Negative on the ceiling, too high, no visible access, but the far wall. There's an archway, larger glyphs above it are different, more complex. Active glow is stronger. The new archway dwarfed the first. The glyphs above it were intricate, multi-layered, and pulsed with a steady powerful light, deep amber, like captured sunlight. The escort swarm flowed towards it, forming a perfect corridor. The hum shifted again, lower, more resonant, expectant. As they approached, Thorne studied the central glyph. It dominated the lintel, a mandala of interlocking spirals and sharp radiating lines, centered on a stylized eye-like symbol. It resonated with the glyph she'd used outside, but infinitely more complex. "Boundary," she murmured. "Jurisdiction, but also threshold, gateway, core." She felt a pull, an intellectual gravity emanating from it. This is significant. Primary access. They passed under the arch. The chamber beyond stole their breath. It wasn't organic like the forest, nor purely architectural. It was a library of light. Towering columns, seemingly carved from solid darkness, rose to a vaulted ceiling hundreds of feet above. Set within these columns, at myriad heights, were geometric facets, windows into swirling constellations of light. Nebulae of colors shifted, pulsed, coalesced into complex, three-dimensional shapes, fractal landscapes, impossible geometries, fleeting images of beings that defied description, multi-limbed, crystalline, fluid, data streams, visible as ribbons of coherent light, flowed between facets, connecting nodes in a silent, cosmic dance. The air vibrated with low-frequency sound, felt deep in the bones, the hum of stored knowledge, vast and ancient. The central Aris Thorne breathed, tears stinging her eyes behind her visor. It's alive, storing information as structured photonic energy, quantum crystalline matrices. Her linguist's mind raced. The glyphs, they must be the interface language. The keys to accessing this. The escort swarm flowed into the chamber, not forming walls now, but dispersing into intricate, shifting patterns that mirrored the data flows above. Their hum harmonized with the chamber's resonance. They were part of it. Guardians and curators. Rourke whistled low. All right, Doc, you win. This beats any derelict freighter I've ever salvaged. But how the hell do we even begin to understand this? And what powers it? Singh was scanning frantically. Massive power source deep below us, Captain. Stable, but integrated. Like the moon's core is the power plant. Residual readings are off the scale, and there, she pointed her lamp, beam towards the chamber's center. A massive, dark obelisk stood there, featureless except for a single, recessed panel where the swirling light data streams seemed to converge. The panel glowed with the same complex mandala glyph from the archway,